morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Saturday update. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for all those of you who tuned in to join us here on the broadcast this morning. Go here. Hopefully, I can be heard now. We were having a problem with the volume. Hopefully, we can be heard, and hopefully, I can hear my guest. Let's add Jason to the stage. Jason, how are you, sir? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. I can now. I can't hear Jason. All right.
I
Well,
can hear you now, Jonathan.
there we go. Okay.
I
Now.
muted my microphone, but I can hear you too.
All right, perfect. Well, again, for those of you who have been listening, we're sorry for all the bugs in the machine. I'm not exactly sure what happened. This is our system that we use for our live stream broadcast, even to the football games. But evidently, this morning it was ghosting the machine. But the show must go on, so we're here. And hopefully, our guys back at WIGO can pick us up loud and clear. Jason, I was telling everybody, at least I thought I was telling everybody, and people were telling me they couldn't hear a daggone thing. But a huge weekend of high school football.
Hmm.
We actually went back to back Thursday night and Friday night. You were there last night to see an epic game, Jonesboro against Harris County. What were your thoughts? Because you were right there on the field.
Yeah, what a great game. You look at two teams that were so evenly matched throughout the entire game, and just the strategy. It was like you just watched the coaches just trying to dial up the plays and try to figure out what was working and what was not working. We saw some great defensive plays. We saw some good offensive plays, and it was an exciting night. I know a little bit. There was a little bit, maybe some tenseness. Down on the Jonesboro sidelines when Harris County was going down the field on that final drive. They're hoping their defense could come through and they could make that play happen. But then, of course, Harris County they got the touchdown, but then the big play was the interception on the 2-point conversion. So that's what got the Jonesboro sideline fired up. And of course, that came down to that onside kick, and you could just feel. Kind of the tension on the sidelines. The onside kick was happening, and it got recovered. And of course, when Jonesboro was able to, create the fumble and get the win, the excitement was just amazing from the Jonesboro sideline. So all in all, it was a great game, just great game to be at. Great atmosphere at Terra Stadium as always, and two teams that were really evenly matched and meeting each other for the first time. I could sense there was excitement with that too on both sidelines. It's the first time these teams have met in conference play, and it was definitely a great game. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great games between these two teams.
Yes, definitely. Again, that was Harris County against Jonesboro. Harris County, for those of you who don't know, located just outside of Columbus, Georgia, in Hamilton. And they came up here um, they're now in the same region now as Jonesboro. So this was a big regional game. And yeah, it was a slugfest. Both teams went back and forth, back and forth. It was really like the game I did Thursday. Jonesboro pretty dominant in the first half, seeming to have the game under control, up 14-3 at the half. But in the second half, Harris County made the adjustments they needed to make. They unleashed that, I guess it was an RPO-based offense because their quarterback really started picking up a lot of yards on the ground. And then, like you said, it got down to really the critical play was the penalty. And I guess not, like you said, from down in the field, I couldn't quite see the calls, kind of confused. Matter of fact, myself and most of the people in the stands were confused most of the night. The referees making calls and changing calls. What was the call? Was it a personal foul, or was it taunting, celebration? I never really got an understanding of what the call actually was.
Yeah, there were a couple calls that were kind of hard to kind of figure out. Even the coaches were kind of surprised by them, and we had some of the motion calls, but there was that one play where they did call the personal foul, and it turned out to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and it was very unfortunate for Harris County because here you go, you
Right.
score a touchdown. All you gotta do is get a 2-point conversion. Now we know in high school football the ball's on the 2-yard line, 3-yard line or so, but then you get called for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. The ball goes way back. You have to go for the 2-point conversion. So it created a passing situation where Harris County had to pass for the end zone, and then Jonesboro was able to actually intercept. Our number 3 was able to intercept it in the end zone to pick off that play, and that was a big play that they couldn't convert on a 2-point conversion. That's what forced the onside kick. But yeah, it was kind of hard to see what the penalty was necessarily, but I saw flags fly right away after the touchdown. I was like, what could that be? And then they did call it on the offense. So it must have been a taunt or something in the end zone that happened.
Yeah, a strange call, and really a critical call. You often wonder those kind of situations. Should the refs just? I'm not saying you don't want to have obviously a flagrant penalty that you have to call, but it just seems that that's the kind of call you don't want to make in such a great game. We want to let the teams decide on the field, but as I called them last night, the Zebra Crew said it's we're going to take care of this. But to Harris County's credit, a picture perfect onside kick. I mean, you couldn't have scripted any better. Their up man caught it on one bounce and almost took it to the house.
I was saying to somebody on the sidelines last night too, and their onside kick is like, how much do they practice onside kicks in high school football? Do they know a
Not
play? How
much.
can they make that play happen? And that kick goes up in the air, and all I see is the Harris County guy running, 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 and catching it, and then taking it down the field. I'm like, I can't believe this. And I know at that point Jonesboro was feeling a little bit, they weren't sure what was going to happen, a little besides himself because everybody knows that Harris County kicker could probably kick a 40-yard field goal. The way he was
Right.
kicking them, they're going up right through the uprights. He had plenty of leg on it, so you kind of had that feeling that all they had to do was just go down the field, get in field goal position, and they could just kick the game-winning field goal. And that was something else, seeing an onside kick like that. I don't know if I've seen an onside kick recovered in high school before like that. So
Yeah,
that was a
like I
great
said,
play.
great play and really a testament to both teams. Harris County never say die, and the same thing with Jonesboro. Like you said, understanding that hey, we got a situation where if we give up maybe even as little as 15 or 20 yards, Harris County's got a kicker that can get it in between 40 and 50 yards. But like I said, they hung in there and they did what they had to do. Huge defensive play with the strip sack, recovered fumble, and of course it was bedlam on the sidelines after that. So yeah, great game, great to be a part of that. Now the night before, got a chance to see a similar game. It was a battle of two teams that only had one loss. Southwest DeKalb, like I mentioned, have been dominant. They had ran up 60 points plus in the last two games. Of course, St. Pius, as you know, Jason, they're up in your neck of the woods up north of
Hmm.
I-20. Traditionally a great team. Southwest DeKalb using speed, using power, dominant in the first half, looking like at one point they were going to blow out St. Pius. They were up 21-3, and then had the opportunity to maybe try to get a field goal, put a few more points, but they got greedy. They went away from their potent ground attack, passed the ball, incomplete. They were three and out. St. Pius got the ball, and they unleashed their ground attack, came down the field and scored. And that, I think, was the difference of the game. They got, instead of being down 21-3 at the half, they were down 21-10. And then you know how it is in the momentum. What you want to do, you
Hmm.
want to score at the end of the half, and then hopefully score in your first possession, which St. Pius had, and they did. They unleashed an almost 8-minute drive, eating up two-thirds of that third quarter. They came in to score, cut the lead down then to 21-16, and then did a little trickeration, got a two-point conversion, made it 21-18, and then we had a ball game. They later went down. Their field goal kicker also was very good. He hit one earlier from 47. He nailed
Wow.
one from 37, and the game was in overtime at a total of 21 apiece. In overtime, because they get the ball. I didn't realize this in high school. Did you realize they get the ball at the 15-yard line, not the 25?
No, I didn't know that how overtime worked in high school. So
Yeah, it
15
was
yard line.
crazy.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be from the 25. They got it at the 15. They immediately scored, kicked the extra point conversion. Southwest DeKalb came down and scored to make it 27-26. And then here's where the ball game was ended. They decided they were going to use their stud wide receiver. They felt that in one-on-one he'd have an opportunity to get a two-point conversion. They went for it. But another Taylor, actually John Taylor's, I think his cousin or his brother, made Hudson Taylor, ended up knocking the ball away in the end zone. And that was the ball game. 28-27 final, St. Pius over the Panthers of Southwest DeKalb.
Wow, what a game! And you just look at the coaching staff at St. Pius. I think they coach those players to just not give up in a game like that. And even though they get behind in a game like that, they just have that ability to just be able to keep going with what they're doing and tell those guys, we're going to keep going with what we're doing and we're going to get ourselves back in the game that way. So it really just shows, the St. Pius is being able to go ahead and be able to make that happen as a program. Be able to keep bringing the team back and getting those wins. But also at the same time, hats off to Southwest DeKalb County. This is a DeKalb County that's starting to come along more and more in high school football, and we're seeing more DeKalb County teams be able to challenge teams, in other powerhouses. So overall, I feel like football is evening out more and more in Metro Atlanta. We're seeing some good things in Clayton County, we're seeing some good things in DeKalb County, and these programs are just getting, better and better, and coaches are doing a great job of coaching these players, and it's an exciting time for football in Metro Atlanta. It really is.
Oh, no doubt, it is a must-see TV. And you talked about, DeKalb County, all they're doing. Yeah, first of all, we have an unsung team. We might get a chance to see them this year. Believe it or not, a team that normally is not known for football, Decatur High School, is at
Mm.
4-0 in DeKalb County. They've been outstanding all year long. So we'll look to maybe try to see if we can get the pickup of a game with them. I'm not going to try to see if I can do this. I'm going to attempt to see if we can let people see the post game interview of the coach of St. Pius, because he talked about what you talked about, the tradition and the young
Hmm.
men not quitting. Before we're going to do that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Saturday Update in just a moment.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
All right, we're going to try to see if we can get this interview up here. This was the interview, the post-game interview from the coach of St. Pius after the game.
He made a great play. He was in great position. He knocked it out of his hand. Just did a super job. I'm really proud of all of our kids tonight.
Couple more, I'll let you go. Just talk about how you're able to have such a great team, coach. Every single year you bring them, and they always competitive in battle. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's our kids. You know, there's three things that don't ever change at St. Pius. One, it's our kids. Two, it's our community. And three, it's our support from our administration and our faculty. They are unbelievable in supporting our kids and doing what we need to do. But we've just got blue-collar kids who work their butts off to get better every day.
Last question, coach. What can a win like this, you're undefeated in the region now, what can a win like this do to help continue on your kind of path for what you want to accomplish this year?
Well, you know, I hope it propels us into a W next week, because that's all we're worried about now. Is we got North Springs next Friday for homecoming, and we're excited about having the Spartan.
There it was. That was the coach of St. Pius, and we got a chance to stop in and check out his interview. And as you can see, man, the coach obviously very fired up. But he
Yes.
talked about the tradition of St. Pius and the fact that their guys did not quit. And like I said, again, it was just a great game. And really quickly here, as we wrap up, I want to see if I can also get the post-game comments from the Southwest DeKalb coach, because he also obviously spoke very, very highly of his program, as he should, as now they are now moving back into what used to be one of the great programs under the coach whose actually name is on the stadium, Coach Buck Godfrey. So let's see if we can get a little bit of the coach from Southwest DeKalb. We're going to try to share his screen so we can bring him on. Let's see if we can listen to a little bit from the head coach of Southwest DeKalb. Let's take a peek and listen in. Hopefully we can get it here, and here we go.
You guys know how we do. We're on the field here, wrapping up here. This is why we call it Game of the Week. Sensational game here at DeKalb County. We have the head coach from the losing team. By just 1 point, he's going to introduce himself to you right now.
How you doing? Marion Bell III, Southwest DeKalb High School head football coach.
Coach, a heck of a game. That's what we call it Game of the Week. Two great teams in the region. What was really the turning point for you guys in this game?
Down the stretch, we just made a couple of mistakes that we shouldn't have, and I'm gonna take the weight for. I'm the head coach. It's on me.
Well, you owned up, but you guys played very, very well. First half, you seemed very dominant. What was really the difference for you in the second half?
Well, they held the ball for nearly the whole third quarter. So we got the ball with 4 minutes left. So we had one possession in the third quarter and two possessions in the fourth quarter.
Did that kind of slow your offense down? You guys looked like you had a good rhythm before that.
Yeah, because, you get one possession. It's like you got to capitalize on it because they're going to just grind, hold the ball. We knew that. That's why we would have got that first down when we was up 21-17, and we get the first down, game over.
Yep, coach called it right there. If they had been able to get that stop, it would have been the end of the ball game. But again, to his credit, we appreciate the coach was able to come and join us, because after a tough game like that, Jason, sometimes it's hard to come on and speak to the press. But big kudos to coach from Southwest DeKalb, and I think they can do some great stuff going forward.
And he's proud of his team. He knows, it comes down to one play and he's taking responsibility for it, but he's still proud of the effort that his team shows. And, these coaches, they inspire these young guys so much in these games. And these players, they play up to their coaches. And we see it over and over again in high school football. And I know it happened last night with our Jonesboro Cardinals in that game, sticking to that game plan and just, trusting in the process that they've developed over weeks and weeks and weeks of training camp and, practices. And when you go ahead and you believe in that process, that's usually what works for you. So it comes down to little things. Sometimes the mistakes, you think you have a great play or you have something drawn up and then a mistake happens and it just turns out differently. But in the end, as long as you're playing your game and you're showing the effort, you can definitely take pride. Even in a loss, you can take pride in a loss. But of course, the win feels a lot better. And those teams that won this week, St. Pius and Jonesboro, I know you guys are feeling really good right now, especially about the season, as you guys have some winning records going into the rest of the season.
No doubt. We got to wrap it up here. About a minute and a half left. Really quickly, big shout out to Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream clinched the final playoff spot in the WNBA by winning their last 3 games. And now they have a tall task after facing number 1 team, the New York Liberty, on the road on Sunday. And then they will have game 2 back here in Atlanta. So big shout out to them. And to record breaker Tina Charles, who set the record for most rebounds in WNBA history. Big shout out to her. And of course, last but not least, Sunday night, Jason, who you got? Falcons or Chiefs?
Rise up. You know what? I'm going back and forth on this one. I know a lot of people are going to pick the Chiefs, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick the Falcons. I like how we're playing. I believe in our team. I feel like Kansas City, they got a lot of good weapons and a lot of good play calling, but the last few games it's been susceptible. They played some close games. So I think Atlanta, with a lot of effort, could come out with a win tomorrow night, too.
All right, Jason, you get the last word. All right, everybody, we thank you for joining us here and keeping with us as we went through the ups and downs of live radio and TV. All right, until the next time, as we say every week, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever play applies. So long and take care.